Richard Lawson wasn't supposed to talk about Beyonce's real birth year, but now his alleged revelations have the Beehive in absolute chaos. Today, we're dissecting one of Hollywood's most carefully guarded secrets, how multiple official documents, interviews, and family members have accidentally exposed what could be a 7-year age discrepancy surrounding Beyonce Giselle Knowles-Carter,
who was partners with L.A. Reid and Babyface in Atlanta. And these guys had this competitiveness. L.A. had a girls group. I bet you don't know who his lead singer was.
No.
Pink.
Oh.
She's the exact same age as Beyonce, and there used to be this battle which group was better. You had Usher, he was the same age. They were all 14 and 15 years old living in Atlanta.
And by the time we connect Tina Knowles' Jackson tour story to Matthew Knowles' Atlanta claims, you'll see why this goes far beyond a simple birthday mix-up. On paper, Beyonce was born on the 4th of September, 1981 in Houston, Texas. That's what her Wikipedia says. That's what her PR team has maintained for over 2 decades. That's what made her a teenage sensation when Destiny's Child dropped No 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 in 1997. The timeline seemed flawless. A 1-5 year, old Beyonce wowing audiences, then dominating the charts by 18. Clean, simple, marketable. But in 2023, something unexpected happened. The Texas Department of Health allegedly released documents showing a different birth year, entirely 1974. 7 years earlier. The internet exploded. Critics screamed conspiracy. Fans dismissed it as fake news. Then, within 48 hours, the Texas Health Department retracted the documents, calling them fraudulent and reaffirming the 1,981 birth date. But here's where it gets strange. Why would a state health department accidentally release, then urgently retract documents about a celebrity's birth? Who contacted them? And why the urgency? Gabrielle Union was doing press for Being Mary Jane when she casually mentioned her decades-long friendship with Beyonce. B and I have been friends since we were teenagers. Union stated during a 2014 radio interview, "Seems harmless, except Gabrielle Union was born in 1972, making her 9 years older than the official 1,981 Beyonce. Teenagers together? The math doesn't work, unless one of them is lying." But Union wasn't alone. Bianna Galadria, a Houston-based journalist, appeared on a local morning show in 2013, claiming she attended Houston's High School for the Performing and Visual Arts with Beyonce.
I remember her, it's a small school, I remember her passing through the hallways, and I mean, she was stunning. She was just a stunning woman. But she would sing, I could hear her in the hallways and walking by, and I just remember, and I'm not just saying this, but I remember saying, wow, that girl is something. And I didn't really know much about her because we didn't have classes, and she was in a different art area. I was a theater major. But she stood out. And then years later in college, one of my other good friends called me and said, open your yearbook and look at whatever page, because I didn't put Destiny's Child was already a big deal.
Right.
I just didn't make the connection because she looked so different. And so for 2 years, Bills, all of these songs that I thought were great. I didn't even make the connection that she went to my high school. But
I remember her passing through the hallways, Galadria recalled. She would sing to herself, walking by. Emotional, nostalgic, completely contradictory, because Galadria was 35 inches 2013, while official Beyonce was 32. Same high school, same graduation year, the timeline fractures again. Then came the Jackson tour revelation. Tina Knowles, Beyonce's mother, sat for an extensive interview where she shared the origin story of her daughter's passion for performance.
When Beyonce was 3, I took her to the Triumph tour with Michael Jackson and his brothers.
Wow.
And my friend said, well, if you go to this certain area at the Astrodome, he's gonna come out that way. So I had her out there, it was a group of about 20 people. He walks over, tries to grab her. And she loved him so much, she was just overwhelmed as kids do, and she just started crying, and she wouldn't go to him.
Yeah.
But what are the odds of that?
Wow.
And she said then, I'm gonna be like Michael Jackson. And I was like, yeah, okay.
Look at her now.
Look at her now. And I just think that that's how fate and God work.
When Beyonce was 3, I took her to the Triumph tour with Michael Jackson and his brothers, Tina explained, detailing how Michael allegedly approached young Beyonce, who became overwhelmed and cried. Beautiful anecdote, except the Jacksons' Triumph tour happened in 1981. If Beyonce was 3 during that tour, she wasn't born in 1981. She was born in 1978. At minimum, But when confronted with this discrepancy, defenders quickly pivoted. Tina must have meant the Victory Tour in 1984, except Tina specifically said Triumph Tour by name. She described Michael approaching Beyonce. She detailed the location at the Houston Astrodome. These aren't fuzzy memories. These are specific, vivid details. From a mother who presumably knows when her daughter was born. The contradictions didn't stop with Tina. Matthew Knowles, Beyonce's father and former manager, appeared on a radio show discussing the late 1990s Atlanta music scene.
Partners with L.A. Reid and Babyface in Atlanta, and these guys had this competitiveness. L.A. had a girls group. I bet you don't know who his lead singer was.
No.
Pink.
Oh.
She's the exact same age as Beyonce, and there used to be this battle which group was better. You had Usher. He was the same age. They were all 14 and 15 years old living in Atlanta.
L.A. Reid had a girl group, Matthew explained. Bet you don't know who his lead singer was, Pink. She's the exact same age as Beyonce. You had Usher. They were all 14 and 15 years old living in Atlanta. Fascinating story, except Pink born Alicia Moore in 1979 and Usher born in 1978 were both significantly older than the official Beyonce. They weren't the exact same age unless Beyonce was also born in the late 1970s. Not 1981. Matthew Knowles, the man who managed Beyonce's career from its inception, apparently didn't know his own daughter's age compared to her peers. L.A. Reid's Atlanta operations in the mid-1990s were legendary. His label LaFace Records, co-founded with Babyface, was launching teenage acts into superstardom. TLC, Usher, Toni Braxton. The competitive environment Matthew described was real. But if Pink was 16 in 1995 and Usher was 17 and they were the exact same age as Beyonce, then Beyonce wasn't 14. She was at least 16 or 17, which would make her birth year 1978 or 1977, not 1981. What makes this particularly damning is Matthew Knowles' position. As Destiny's Child's manager, he negotiated contracts, submitted documentation, and presented Beyonce to record executives. These aren't casual statements. This is firsthand industry knowledge from the person who controlled Beyonce's professional narrative for over a decade.
Trainers have been training older artists to lie and say they were as much as 10 years younger than they were. It's all to sell you records, to sell you a...
Then came Richard Lawson's alleged betrayal. Lawson, who married Tina Knowles in 2015 before their 2023 divorce, reportedly began sharing family secrets after the separation. According to multiple industry insiders, Lawson claimed that Beyonce's entire image from her age to her marriage with Jay-Z is all a sham. Strong words from someone who lived inside the Knowles-Carter orbit for 8 years.
Yeah.
Now, Beyonce was born in 1981. I don't know how that picture of her standing up almost hip-high to her mother happened. Like I said, it was the largest infant I ever seen in my life.
Richard Lawson's motive doesn't matter. He spent 8 years at Tina Knowles' dinner table. He knows exactly how this machinery runs. Look at the pattern. Gabrielle Union, Bianca Galadria, Matthew Knowles, Tina Knowles, 5 separate people contradicting the 1981 timeline. Zero pushback from Parkwood Entertainment. A state agency doesn't leak a 1974 birth document, then violently retract it 48 hours later without massive legal pressure. Beyonce's entire empire is built on the myth of the teenage prodigy. Richard Lawson knows who made the phone call to the Texas Health Department, and if he ever decides to stop cashing those silence checks, Jay-Z and Beyonce won't just be answering for a fake birthday. They'll be answering for everything built on top of it.